Hey, welcome back, my chess friends. Today I'm very excited to show you one of the most famous endgame studies called Saavedra Position. It's named after a Spanish priest, Saavedra. Yeah, this endgame was for a long time. They believed that this endgame ends in a draw until this Saavedra came in and discovered something brilliant. All right, so it's pawn versus rook and we can somehow magically we can win. Yeah, you may want to pause the video and try to figure out yourself. Good luck. All right, let's check. So first, the first move, white probably has to push the pawn, right? I mean, black is threatening to simply pin the pawn to the king, yeah? Or if king moves, simply rook c5. And at any moment, if black can simply capture the pawn with his rook, that's going to end in a draw, right? So we have to push the pawn. That's the only move. And now it looks like for a moment that black can't really stop the pawn, right? Rook c5 is out of question, yeah. Rook d8 as well, yeah. Pawn simply captures. So what do we have? I mean, the only move that black has is pretty much rook d6, right? Check the king. And now let's use the method, I guess, of elimination, yeah? So we can find the next move, yeah? So king a7, king b7 runs into rook d7, yeah? Pinning the pawn to the king, and that's a draw. King a5 isn't very good, right? Because of rook c6, white even loses the game. How about king c5? This looks very clever. But in the end, black will laugh. Yeah, because black has a nice trick, a skewer trick. Simply playing rook d1, threatening rook c1. And white can't even promote, right? If he promotes into queen, we have a nice skewer. And black even wins the game. So yeah, the only move that is left is king b5. So king b5, white is still threatening to promote, and the only thing black can do is check us. And now we don't want to draw, so that's why we're going down, king b4. And black can only check us. And we go down again, and check again. And now, very important move, king c2. Yeah? No more skewer trick. But black has another trick here. Black plays rook d4. What should we do next? Be careful. White shouldn't promote into queen. Because black has a very nice trick. Rook c4. Forking, yeah? King and the queen. And white has to take, after which we have a draw on the board. Yeah? Black king is not in check, not in danger, and black has no legal moves. Yeah, we have stalemate. So instead of making the most natural move and promoting into queen, we have to under-promote. King and rook versus king and rook. This should be a draw. But because black king is so weak, we're actually now threatening rook a8 with a checkmate. So black has only one move to defend. Rook a4. But now not only king is weak, but actually also rook is kind of weak. And after king b3, white is threatening rook c1, checkmate, and he's threatening to munch the rook. And black can just throw the towel there and yeah, and bow. Amazing, right? White wins the game. Incredible. All right, thank you very much. See you in the next video. Bye. Bye-bye.